In this movie, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I use that are called visual cues to help guide my learner through my e-learning courses. So let me start off by showing you one of the more common ones. You can see in this sentence the word arrows is the most important part of the sentence, and you know that because I formatted it to be bold and in this case orange, so it really pops out. So use that sparingly when you want to draw attention to something, a word or a phrase. Don't overuse it because then it does the opposite. People tend to not pay attention to it after a while. Here's another example of a visual cue. These are 5 steps from a recent project that I did, and I wanted to really emphasize that we're going in that particular order. So just by adding arrows, it helps to really drive home the point that we're doing this particular workflow and helps people to see the direction that you're going. So you can use arrows as visual cues to help guide your learner as well. Another idea is using radiating lines. In this case, I have 3 test tubes and I want to draw attention to one of them. So simply adding some radiating lines can really change and add emphasis to that third beaker. Here's another example of using visual cues. Here I've got graphic symbols, and if you use them often enough and in the same context, your user will become familiar with them, and then you don't even need to put any words with them. So here's one I use a lot, the magnifying glass. Early on in the course, I might add a few words like learn more, and I might have them select the magnifying glass maybe to get some tips on how to use the course, how to interact with buttons. But then later on, maybe I might have that in the same spot on every slide just to give them more information. Maybe it would give them a tip on something they're learning on that particular slide. The light bulb is another one I've used in my courses, another common symbol to get people to interact with it, maybe to offer them more content or a tip about something that they're learning. And the gear is another one that's very common. This is a universal symbol for changing your settings or changing your preferences. That's another one that after a while people get used to that and they know what to do. They know they need to interact with that. Another example would be over here where I have my different concepts that I'm covering in the course listed, and if I bring in some check boxes, maybe halfway through the course I might have a slide that says here's where we are, here's what we've learned so far, list all of the concepts I'm going to cover in the course, and maybe have some check marks as a visual representation to show them how far we are in the course, give them an idea of where we are. And then, of course, the little box down here with the X in it is another universal visual cue. Everybody knows that you're supposed to interact with that to close a window or to close a box. Here's some other ideas for visual cues, in this case using color. So this black square is signifying a graphic I might use on my project, or maybe even some text, and I want to draw attention to it. This is particularly useful when you're syncing audio. You might be talking about that particular graphic, and just by putting a highlight box around it, or again it could be a piece of text, it helps draw attention to that and drive home the point. And I use orange a lot. I tend to use thicker boxes and I use orange. Orange is a really good color because it does draw attention, it stands out, but it's not neon and garish looking, and it doesn't have that negative connotation that red has for so many people. Down here is another example of a visual cue. I have a series of buttons on one of my slides I showed earlier, and I want people to interact with those buttons. But once they've interacted with it, I have the buttons turn gray. That's a visual cue to the learner that they've already read that content and they know they don't have to interact with it again. Over here, these 9 boxes symbolize a graphic I might use on my slides. And if I'm trying to talk about one particular portion of it, maybe it's a chart, maybe it's a map, I can draw attention to that just by using color. So either to highlight it or maybe alter the graphic in some way to show that area that I'm talking about will be drawn, will have attention drawn to it because of the color. And finally, here's another example. Here's a busy slide. A lot of the projects I do have very busy screenshots on them. So I use colored boxes. In this case, I use circles to draw attention to the steps and give them an order in which they're going to be performing them. So they know right away 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's the order I want them to click on those boxes. And then I have content that will display when they click on the box. And down at the bottom is another example. This is a highlight box around a button I want them to interact with. So I want to make sure I have something in my text, something that comes up that tells them to interact with it, but also by adding that bold rule around it, it gives them a visual cue that I want them to interact with that content. So these are just some of the ideas that I use when I want to give visual cues to my learner to guide them through my e-learning projects.